This is Travis with Horror Movies Uncut, and I really, really appreciate your guys' time. Thanks for speaking with me. I know you guys have a really big night tonight. I'm with the cast and crew behind Mom, I'm Alien Pregnant. Sundance this evening, Midnighters is going to be playing for those in attendance, and I got a chance to watch the film, and now I get an awesome, amazing opportunity to talk to the folks behind the film. And first and foremost, I need to address Sean and Jordan with the best indie rock band no one has ever heard of, Thunderlips, and talk to you guys first and foremost about the film. And I'm curious to how Mom, I'm Alien Pregnant leans heavily into absurdity, but the emotional weight comes from very grounded human relationships. So, my question is, how intentional was that balance, and what did you want audiences, or what do you want audiences to sit with once the shock and the laughter start to fade away?
Well, we'll start by talking about the sort of groundedness of it. Before we started shooting, some of the cast would come up to us and they'd be like, okay, we're making a horror, right? And we'd be like, no, 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 no. We're making like down to earth kitchen sink drama.
Right.
And we thought that it was almost like two movies. We start with that, and that will suck in the audience and get them on side with the characters. And then we will unleash hell with the slime and the alien stuff once they're on board.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't want to preempt it. That's absolutely right. I remember vividly in pre-production at some point, the word grounded, I'm stoked that you used that word because that came up a lot. We made a lot of choices, like with the lenses. The movie is, as you know, secretly kind of a sci-fi movie, but we didn't want it to look like that at the beginning. And so we shot the movie on 3 different sets of lenses so that early on it feels as much like a kitchen sink, down to earth daily thing, because that's the situation in which the alien shit really pops.
For sure.
Crazy, then the alien stuff doesn't mean anything, you know. But if it's like a very real world, very real people, that's when it's kind of hilarious. And so yeah, that was intentional, 100% intentional.
That's what's up. I love that kitchen sink. That's a great way to describe it. So my next question's for Hannah. You play Mary, and Mary is a character defined by avoidance more than action, in my opinion. How did you approach playing someone who isn't necessarily trying to grow until she kind of has no choice?
I feel like the character of Mary is kind of like how I felt at like maybe 20. Like I feel like I've lived, it feels maybe a younger version of myself, and I do actually relate to a lot of her, her avoidance and her commitment to comfort. You know, her.
You guys got the same Discord channels you subscribe to. I get it.
Yeah, it's like I find her. I always found her incredibly lovable, and I also think it's like a generational thing. You know. I'm like a zillennial or whatever, living in this world where you're kind of like, there's so much going on, there's so much happening in the world. What's the point of me kind of getting a career or trying too hard? Like, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just gonna do my thing. And
we bringing cigarettes back in style. It's wild out here. It's wild out here.
And I really I appreciate that about her, but also like she has a serious conviction in her own life. Like when it comes down to it, she knows what is right for her, and she, as happens in the movie, kind of like fights tooth and nail to make that happen, which I also think is incredibly lovable. And yeah, I love her. I'm in love with her.
I'm really proud of how little she changes. You know, like you sort of you watch a movie, you expect the character to change, you expect her to like come around or whatever, and she's like, no. Also, how you know?
Yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I did not expect any change. I know way too many women like Mary. I'm like, So my favorite character of the film is actually Yvette Parsons' character Cynthia, representing the moms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your character brings a sense of emotional grounding. We're using that word again. That cuts through the chaos. How did you approach being the calm center in a film built around escalation and absurdity?
Well, I mean, I've been a mum. I've been a mum with a kid stuck in the bedroom on the computer with the door shut and, a cigarette and everything. I kind of related to the mother like that. And I had a very good friendship with my own son. We were really
Mhm.
like good friends. And so in this movie, I like that too. But I think also I drew on my own mother, and how she was really a person that part of her qualities where she was actually a lot of the time in denial. She wanted things for me that I didn't want, and she didn't take her any notice of what I wanted. Cynthia's a bit like that. She wants a grandchild. She wants um, Mary to go out in the world and get a job and all that sort of thing. And I think Cynthia was very much just sort of had her own idea about what she wanted.
Hmm. Yeah, I think everybody's got a little bit of Cynthia mom in them somewhere, right? There's like a little bit of that character in everybody's mom, I feel like.
Yeah. But also she's a real sweet person, and she's a good person, and she's funny. And I just sort of, I don't know, I just put the clown pants on and be Cynthia.
So last but of course not least, Arlo with Boo. So Boo's character is defined by disconnection, both socially and emotionally. How did you think about still making him feel present and essential within the story?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
I guess he never really his mother never really trusted him to grow up or to be his own man and stuff. And so in a lot of ways, he's still like a child, and he still wants to sort of nurse on the breast of others, you know what I mean? And so anytime anyone else is in a room, I think he leaves this sort of internal whirlpool of anxiousness and fears, and sort of just latches on to the other person. And he's hyper aware of, most of the scenes I'm with other people, and so I'm always hyper aware of how they feel of me, or how they're looking at me, or what they might think, or do they maybe want to kiss me, or something like that.
They never do.
They never do.
So weird.
Always thinking that.
It's just great to see that, there's a lot of wonderful, weird white men in New Zealand walking around too, Like I watch a lot of rugby. I actually have the All Blacks poster behind me in the background. Yeah. I played rugby in college, so I've always watched you guys rugby for sure. But yeah, it's just so many great characters in here. And, I could talk to you guys about this film forever, but have to wrap up a few things. To go back to my filmmakers, one of the questions that I wanted to wrap up with you guys is the film plays in a space where modern individualism collides with unavoidable accountability. Were you guys aiming to critique that mindset, reflect it, or simply explore what happens when it collapses under pressure?
Yeah, great question. I think we like to say that for us, the absurdity, that's present in like everyday life doesn't need us to necessarily comment on it. We just like to put out both sides of a good argument. And that's what we really hope the movie kind of is. We don't want to necessarily come down on either side of that line. We just want to like really respect both arguments and give them their day in the sun. So I hope that kind of gets pushed back onto the audience, and that they have to make their own mind up about whether or not what they think about that. We don't want to necessarily be didactic.
It's a great answer. Great answer.
Nothing to add. I mean, that's
Nothing to add. Okay. Hannah, to wrap it up with you, one last thing about Mary that I wanted to ask is the performance walks a fine line between comedy and discomfort for her. What was the most challenging about making Mary feel human without asking the audience to excuse her behavior?
What was the most challenging thing about making? Well, to be honest, for the first part of your question, I kind of never felt like we were making a comedy. To me, it was like, this is not funny. The whole time I was like, why are you guys laughing? It played well, I think, for the character, but I never felt like I was in a funny situation. I was always like, felt like I was shaking everybody to kind of be like, this is so serious. And as for the second part, how to kind of humanize her, I don't know. I think that I really relied maybe on the mother-daughter dynamic to because that's such a special, intimate relationship that everybody has a version of, and certainly is kind of one of those really important relationships in your life. And I feel like the reflection of each other in each other's behavior made Mary really make sense to me. Like, you know, when you're with your friends and then you meet their parents and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Amazing.
I feel like this relationship with Yvette kind of really helped me find Mary's core, and I hope that makes her kind of lovable and likable as well.
Yeah, I think it does.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, folks, it looks like I might be running into some technical difficulties, but thanks anyway. This was great to talk to you all. I really appreciate your time. Best of luck with the screening tonight. Looking forward to everyone seeing the film and enjoying your time up at Sundance, which of course is extraordinarily crazy with it being the last time in Park City. So looking forward to you guys reading my review and looking forward to everything that's coming out from each one of you in the near future. So thanks again for all your time and best of luck with the film.
Thank you
Thank you so much.